I'm just going to tell you real briefly about myself. I asked him over in the truck, I said, can I just not talk about me, talk about God, and talk about what we're doing? He said, tell him a little bit about yourself. So, I grew up in Martinsburg, West Virginia, somewhat of a broken home. Mother an alcoholic, born into addiction. When I used to give my story and tell my testimony, looking back now, where I'm at right now, I think I've come to a level of maturity to where I choose not to dishonor my parents or any of my family members and just accept responsibility for my own behavior and my own actions. So all I'll say is, I was a bad kid. I was rotten. So a lot of my guys here know a lot of brothers and sisters here. They know it started at the age of 11 when I first got in trouble, and then it was supervision and incarceration up until 2012, June of 2012, when I came home it was funny how I came home because I refused to see the parole board. I didn't want to go home. It was my 4th time in prison, and my longest stretch out was 89 days, consecutive days, and I didn't want to go home. One of my brothers was just murdered. My kid's mother, she had just left me for another man, so I didn't want to leave. And then the day I was supposed to see the parole board, I snuck out and I went out to work with road crew. And they showed up and they put me in a holding cell and they said they was going to send me back to Hutton'sville. And then the counselor, he saw a change in me. I didn't even see him myself because I hadn't been in trouble for a few months, so that wasn't enough to constitute a change as far as they was concerned. And he came to me, he said, I got these guys, Rocky Meadows and Anthony Stradwick. They got a good thing going on in Huntington. So I said, I'll think about it. I had a guy that used to slide me coffee under my door every day. And I was telling him about it. He's like, yeah, Huntington's good, man. There's some pretty girls down there. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go to Huntington. Come find out there's pretty girls. That's my girlfriend, Bridget, over there. She's beautiful. So I decided to give it a shot. Department of Corrections dropped me off on 7th Avenue. I didn't know where I was going. I heard Shepherd's House, Lighthouse, Anthony, Rocky. They dropped me off. I had Department of Corrections clothes on. That's it. I had DOC sweatpants, white t-shirt said DOC on it. Didn't always have the nice pretty hair. I had a bald head. I got tattoos on my head too. And a black garbage bag with nothing but a half-stick used deodorant and a bar of soap and my kids' pictures in it. Saw a couple guys on the front porch. They asked me where I was going. I told them I didn't know. They said, you can come here. Happened to have been Anthony's house. Come to find out I was supposed to be over on 4th Street over at Rocky's house. So finally we got everything worked out, and I was terrified, to say the least. I bucked on every rule. Rocky tells the story. He says I took him down in a corner and tried to fight him. That isn't the truth. I didn't try to fight him. I just wanted to take my best shot at proving he wasn't who he said he was. You know, I didn't want to buy it. He kept telling me he loved me, and he didn't even know me. See, I didn't know about God. I didn't have a relationship with God. I didn't know that it was Him inside of you that allows you to love people you don't even know. I had no clue about none of that. I'd like to say everything went smooth for a while. It didn't. I didn't have a relationship with God that first year. I took off from the Lifehouse. When I took off from the Lifehouse, gradually it got worse. Started using drugs again. Started selling drugs again. I ended up over with Anthony on 7th Avenue. Anthony was giving me an opportunity. He knew what I was doing. He just believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. I kept getting high, kept selling drugs. He had to let me go. He couldn't save me. There's only one that could save us, the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We know that. I didn't then. Took off. I ended up at the city mission. Fast forward about, I don't know, not even a month. I went into treatment. I had to go into the psych unit. I told them that I was going to kill myself, I was going to kill somebody else if they didn't help me. They took me in there. I went through 28-day treatment, ended up at Laurelwood. I was clean and sober about 90 days. Walking down the street, and Rocky drives 100 miles an hour, and he made a U-turn in the middle of 6th Avenue up to the curb. And he said, I need your help. He said, I got a bunch of guys just like you that could really use some help. And then I thought about it, and I showed up, and then one evening he invited me to church. I walked in there, and he said, you believe in Jesus Christ? And I said, I don't know. He said, how do you explain yourself? I said, I don't know. And he said, I can't explain. And he did explain. And then he said, this evening, I want you to hit the water with me. Now, see, I didn't know what that meant. So in my head, I was like, I know it. I found out real quick what it meant. And then I know that when I received water baptism and the baptism of the Holy Spirit, I know for a fact that he was right there with me. It's me, Rocky Meadows, and Jesus. And that's the complete transformation we talk about. That's that complete transformation of everything I heard talked about. I mean, it's all good. You know, we had the mayor was up here preaching. That stuff's cool, and I like that, man. It gets us motivated. But then we leave here.
Right. Come on.
Now what? What we gonna do? We gonna drive past him. We gonna say, oh, that's a shame. So-and-so, Joe Sausage head down the block, he's selling crack out the house, man, and so-and-so, she's... What we gonna do? We do all have our assignment, and I don't think everybody goes and starts a house, and you better be called to start a house. You gonna start a house, ain't that right? You better be called to do it. Me and Rocky was talking. And there's, we was going over a prayer, and we was looking here in the book of Jeremiah. I'm going to read this to you. It's out of the Message Bible. And this is him giving a message to all of us, the city of Huntington. And it says, call to me and I will answer you. I'll tell you marvelous and wondrous things that you could never figure out on your own. But now take another look. I'm going to give this city, Huntington, a thorough renovation. Working a true healing inside and out. I'm going to show them life whole, life brimming with blessings. I'll restore everything that was lost. I'll build everything back as good as new. I'll scrub them clean from the dirt they've done against me. I'll forgive them everything they've done wrong. And Huntington will be a center of joy and praise and glory for all the countries on earth. They'll give reports on all the good I'm doing for them. They'll do on all the blessings I'm pouring out. Of all places, God gave that message to Jeremiah in prison. And I don't think prison got to be the prison. That's me and Rocky was talking about prison on the four walls and the bars. That's the prison a lot of us is used to. But I don't know about you guys, I'm tired of prison. I'm tired of seeing my people in prison. And I think, the only thing necessary for evil to prevail is an innocent man to stand by and do nothing. We all know that, right? I don't want to stand by and do nothing. We gotta, I could have went on about me. All day long, God has certainly blessed me, and I mean, I went from those DOC clothes and nothing else, and I mean nothing else. In fact, a lot of people tried to help me and give me stuff to wear. I wouldn't wear nothing. I wouldn't take nothing. I didn't want anything, because like our philosophy says, I was afraid, hurt, helpless, lonely, and ashamed. That's part of the Lifehouse philosophy. And then today, I have 2 Lifehouses of my own on 9th Avenue. The 24 men in there clean and sober by the grace of God. I started a small business, and then on top of it all, I even got a job in Charleston with some other houses we're partnered up with. I was telling, and I'm going to close out here in a second because I'll talk us out the door, out the pavilion. But just telling Rocky is where my beautiful girlfriend is sitting right now. I sat there last year. I was about 9 months clean. I sat right there 9 months ago, and I was looking at Rocky and the mayor and Anthony and these people up here, and I was sitting next to one of my brothers, and I about 9 months clean. I said, I want to be up there next year, and he said, you will be. And he's not here on earth right now because, see, he's one of those numbers. Jason Conlon, he is one of my mentors. Cool thing about it now is he's got the best view, so I'm all right with it. I know he's safe, I know he's good, I know he's proud. I got one favor to ask. I really would appreciate it if my brothers and sisters stand up with me and join in this philosophy, Lighthouse philosophy, because it speaks volumes, it speaks what recovery is, and it speaks the way that we come into this. So if you guys will join me. We have come to accept responsibility for our emotion and behaviors. All of us have disappointed loved ones. We have also disappointed ourselves. We all know what it is like to feel afraid, hurt, helpless, lonely, and ashamed. Perhaps the greatest agony we must overcome is the realization that we have done this to ourselves. As a result, I need your help. I need your awareness to gain insight that has eluded me in the past. I need the lighthouse to illuminate my issues so I can begin to be the healthy person I long to be. I must stand up for myself with courage, hope, and perseverance. This is real. This is life. My life, your life, our life.